The institutions I supervise, national banks and federal thrifts, we've actually had a fairly fair number of consent orders. We do not have to bring people to in a trial or an
Well, I appreciate that you say you don't have to bring them to trial. My question is, when did you bring them to trial?
We have not had to do it as a practical matter to achieve our supervisory goals.
Ms. Walter?
Thank you, Senator. As you know, among our remedies are penalties, but the penalties we can get are limited, and we actually have asked for additional authority, my predecessor did, to raise penalties. When we look at these issues, and we truly believe that we have a very vigorous enforcement program, we look at the distinction between what we could get if we go to trial and what we could get if we don't.
I appreciate that. That's what everybody does. And so the question I'm really asking is, can you identify when you last took the Wall Street banks to trial?
I will have to get back to you with the specific information, but we do litigate, and we do have settlements that are either rejected by the Commission or not put forward for
Okay,
approval.
we've got multiple people here. Anyone else want to tell me about the last time you took a Wall Street bank to trial? You know, I just want to note on this. There are district attorneys and U.S. attorneys who are out there every day squeezing ordinary citizens on sometimes very thin grounds and taking them to trial in order to make an example, as they put it. I'm really concerned that too big to fail has become too big for trial. That just seems wrong to me.
Este colonialismo es experto en cazar brujas y la Argentina en el año 2005 cometió un pecado que no iban a olvidar fácilmente, la voluntad de desendeudamiento. Nada peor para un buitre que un país quiera sentarse a negociar su deuda. Él y sus socios solo saben de usura y especulación. Contra todo pronóstico, en el año 2005, la Argentina encaró una exitosa renegociación de su deuda, la cual continuó en el 2010. Así obtuvo una adhesión del 92,4% del total de los acreedores y supuso quitas de hasta el 65% de capital y ahorro de intereses.
Vulture funds are no longer just targeting third world countries. Eurozone nations like Greece and Ireland could be next.
How is a fund like that able to wield that sort of power?
So the background to the Argentina case is that through the 1990s, a huge debt had built up, some of it historic from a horrendous dictatorship in the 1970s, and some from horrible economic policies that were followed in line with what the IMF wanted. And the country entered a huge recession burdened by these debt payments. And then eventually the government felt it just had to default. It was unable to pay. And Argentina, since that default, its economy has been improving, and they reached an agreement with most of their creditors to pay off about 1/3 of the debt. But these vulture funds who buy up the debt when the country is in trouble for a very cheap price, and then they hold out, refuse to take part in that agreement, and they're suing for 100% of the value later on. So they're trying to make this exorbitant profit on loans that they never lent, and they pursue countries all across the world. So they're in Ghana because this Argentinian ship just happened to dock there.
And what about international institutions like the IMF and the World Bank? What role can they play in all of this?
Well, I mean, the IMF in many ways helps to facilitate this, because their role in these debt crises is that they bail out the lenders. They give new loans to countries to pay off these debts, which really are unpayable.
Si no le pagamos a los buitres, la sentencia dice que no le podemos pagar a nuestros bonistas. Y si sí le pagamos a los buitres, se nos desencadena una cantidad de recursos que deberíamos pagar que es impagable y que no sabemos dónde termina. De forma tal que la sentencia de Griesa, por un lado o por el otro, parece empujarnos al default. O sea, porque no nos deja pagar a los acreedores nuestros de los bonos reestructurados, o sea, por el contrario, porque le pagamos a los buitres, nos deja pagar a los reestructurados, pero vienen reclamos por sumas multimillonarias después de esto. Esto es lo que se desprende de la sentencia de Griesa. No dice absolutamente nada más. ¿Qué va a hacer el gobierno argentino? En primer lugar, no podemos permitir que nos impidan honrar nuestros compromisos con los acreedores, con los bonistas que entraron a la reestructuración, con nuestro 93% que está cobrando, que aceptó la quita y que ha cobrado puntualmente y que tiene sus bonos en su poder. Así que no vamos a permitir que nos impidan pagarles. Es por eso que estamos iniciando los pasos para realizar un canje de deuda para pagarla en Argentina y bajo ley argentina. Estamos iniciando los pasos. Pero, y quiero comentar otro punto, esto es lo que dice la sentencia de Griesa, lo que acabo de describir. Si una sentencia nos dice, suicídense, nosotros no podemos, aunque querramos, responsablemente, ciegamente, aceptar eso que dice. Lo que debe quedar muy claro a todos los argentinos es que el gobierno no tomó esta deuda, no defaultó esta deuda, sino que ha tenido principios férreos que tienen que ver con que la capacidad de pago de la Argentina es aquella que nos permite seguir creciendo. No podemos nuevamente estar en una situación donde por pagar la deuda lo que reina en la Argentina es el hambre, el desempleo, la miseria.